Roman Reigns recently had yet another successful title defense of his Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble 2024, winning a fatal four-way match between himself, LA Knight, Randy Orton, and the phenomenal AJ Styles. And it looks as if Reigns is going to be heading into WrestleMania 40, defending his Universal Championship against a former foe and the same opponent from the main event of WrestleMania 39 in the 2023 and 2024 Royal Rumble winner, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Now, this video isn't about Rhodes versus Reigns 2 or Reigns versus Rhodes 2. This isn't about the road that we've taken to get to WrestleMania 40. It's about the problem that WWE has on their hands that I don't even think they did to themselves intentionally. It's not a title problem. It's not a championship problem. It's a champion problem. And it's a Roman Reigns problem. And I may get a lot of flack for saying it, but that's something I've come prepared for. Yes, Roman Reigns is an amazing champion. He's an amazing heel, and we all wanted him to become heel since he broke away from the Shield earlier on in his career. It's not the fact that Roman Reigns is a heel, it's the fact that Roman Reigns defends the title less and less with every 365 days that go by. Reigns has been the champion since 2020, holding the title for over 1,200 days. That's a historic reign in and of itself, and he's, as we've said many times before, the longest reigning champion of the modern era. But that's not always important when it comes to professional wrestling. What's important is how the champion is remembered. And it's not the championship that makes the superstar, it's the superstar who makes the championship itself. And like we've said, Reigns has been an amazing champion. But the longer that this reign continues, the less and less significant each title defense becomes, and the harder and harder it is going to be to get a satisfying payoff when Reigns eventually does lose the championship. There have been multiple superstars who could have defeated him for this title. You could have gone with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39, but they didn't do it. You could have gone with Finn Balor when he portrayed the Demon character at Extreme Rules, but Extreme Rules wasn't important enough for the longest reigning champion to lose his title. You could have gone with John Cena at SummerSlam, but you can't have a part-timer take the title off of Reigns. There's been multiple examples of people who could have defeated Reigns. Two very important and I believe best options that have already passed the WWE by was his former brother-in the bloodline in Jey Uso, along with Sami Zayn. Now, I've made plenty of videos on the bloodline and the story being about Jey Uso, and it proved to be correct. But I feel like those were the two best options to take the title off of Roman, and they still didn't pull the trigger. It's getting to the point where when they do pull the trigger and take this title off Roman, as we just previously said, they're going to end up missing the shot. And the end of the most historic reign of the modern era is not going to be nearly as effective as it could have been. Now, in hindsight, Cody Rhodes is a good option. But what if they don't have Rhodes beat Reigns? What if Reigns goes 2-0 against Cody Rhodes and the two back-to-back Rumble wins, which hasn't been achieved since Stone Cold Steve Austin during the Attitude Era, go on to mean nothing? You're getting to the point where Reigns is becoming the Thanos of the WWE. And eventually, he has to be conquered. But it has to be done right. And like we said, I just don't know how they can get this to pay off with the same rinse and repeat approach and the same interference after interference that causes Reigns to retain the title by hook or crook. If you were to look back in the annals of WWE history and compare this championship run to something from the past, I feel like there would be three comparisons you could make. Triple H's Reign of Terror in 2003, Brock Lesnar's Universal Championship run from 2017 throughout 2019, and John Cena's championship run in 2006/2007. Two of those contenders, or champions I guess you could say, were heels. But the only difference between those title runs and this is that when the champions ended up losing their titles, for the most part, it meant something and it had a somewhat satisfying payoff. Now, it's of course, like we said, going to mean something when Reigns loses his championship, but it's been 4 years. Almost 4 years, or a little over 4 years, since Roman Reigns has held the World Championship. And yes, he's taken minimal pins since then, but he still remained the champion. And when he does lose, it's not going to be a, oh my god, Roman Reigns lost, I'm so excited, this was exactly the right decision. It's going to be a thank god this is over with, let's move on to the next set of champions and build up the future. They're relying too much on the present, and they're too afraid to take a risk with the future of the WWE. This was a Vince McMahon problem, but now it's becoming a Triple H problem. And it's a problem that they're going to have to take the most pinpoint accurate approach to try to pay off, and I just don't think they can do it at this point. The WWE has a Roman Reigns problem. It's a problem that's been going on for years, and with each passing day and each minuscule title defense, the problem becomes bigger and bigger. And I think WWE is sinking a ship that they could have had sail off into the sunset a few months or even a year previous to where we are now. And it may be too little too late for the Tribal Chief.